Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Chauvinistic Travelers. Today we are on a trip to visit Birsingha village, which is located in Paschim Medinipur district. This place is famous for the birthplace of Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Vidyasagar was the father of Bengali prose. He was a legendary educational reformer. He was the author of Barno Porichoy, which was the first book on Bengali alphabets for beginners. This was published in the year 1855. Here in this blog, we will show you the commendable achievements of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He was not only a Sanskrit Pandit, a social reformer, a writer, a donor, and a humanist, but his versatile persona obliged the Britishers to rework on their social, economical, and political orientations during 18th century. Vidyasagar was born on 26 September 1820 at Birsingha village in a poor Brahmin family. He was born as Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He was the eldest son of his father Thakurdas Vidyasagar and mother Bhagwati Devi. He received his formal education under the guidance of Kalikanto Chattopadhyay. In his childhood, he was a frisky, exuberant kid. Seeing the zeal and passion towards his studies, Kalikanto advised his father to take Ishwar to Calcutta for higher education. In November 1828, when he was at a mere age of 8 years, he came to Calcutta with his father and teacher Kalikanto. It is said that on his way from Medinipur to Calcutta, he mastered the English numbers following the milestone levels. They took shelter in Singho's family in Barabazar area. On 1st June 1829, he was admitted to Sanskrit College to third standard. He was then 9 years old. Now we have reached the birthplace of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. We can see the milestones engraved here just to remind people on how he learned English numericals, and year-wise his achievements have been mentioned in the milestones. He finished his education at the age of 21 years old in 1841, and in the same year he was appointed as the chief scholar in Bengali department in Fort William College. In 1846, he was the assistant secretary of Sanskrit College. His first book, Betal Panchisi, was published in April 1847. His other notable books are Bodhodaya, Grammar Komodi, Shakuntala, Kathamala, Charita Boli, Sitar Bonobas, Brojo Bilas, Niti Bodh, Branti Bilas, etc. The practice of taking holiday on Sundays was also introduced by him. He opened the doors of Sanskrit College irrespective of all caste and creed. Before this, education was only limited to upper class, that is Brahmin community. One of his greatest achievement was Widow Remarriage Act. Vidyasagar was very much shaken up by the social stigmas and the oppression and injustice done on Hindu widows. Young teenage girls were married off to elderly men who would soon going to die in just few months. Mostly this injustice was done to poor family who cannot afford to run their household. The society made them to shave their heads off and had to wear a white sari. They lead a life of saint with extreme austerity and with no proper food, clothing, and deprived from family members and various auspicious festivals, as they were considered as jinx. The Hindu Widows Remarriage Act was passed on 16 July 1856 under East India Company rule. This was drafted by Lord Dalhousie and passed by Lord Canning. You can see the statue of young Vidyasagar with his beloved mother. He set up around 35 schools in South Bengal. In 1849, he and his friend John Drinkwater Bethune started the first Hindu girls' school in India, now known as Bethune College. He was also against polygamy and child marriage. You can see the Bengali alphabets mentioned on this tower. All his social, political, and educational reforms have been displayed inside this room.
Meeting with Girish Chandra Ghosh. Girish Chandra Ghosh, the noted actor, director, writer, and the founder of Star Theatre, and one of the greatest disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, was performing the play Nil Darpan at Star Theatre. Vidyasagar went to watch his performance. He was playing the role of a British officer who was treating the Indians like a savage. Seeing his act, Vidyasagar was infuriated and took off his sandals and threw them at Girish Ghosh. Instead of getting vexed, he picked up the sandals and placed them on his head as a sign of gratitude and told himself that he had reached his height of perfection in his performance. Michael Madhusudan Datta, the father of Bengali sonnet, was a great friend of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Michael had been on the verge of bankruptcy many times and had been saved by his friend Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He gave him the epithet Dayar Sagar, meaning ocean of generosity and kindness, for his selfless altruism. It was also said that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar used to study under gas street lamps at night so that his family can conserve the oil for cooking the next day. Vidyasagar once visited Mr. J. Kerr, the principal of Presidency College, Calcutta. During their conversation, Vidyasagar observed Mr. Kerr had widespread his legs on the table, which truly shows the insult done by the Britishers to our fellow Indians. Some days later, Mr. Kerr called on Vidyasagar for some work. During their conversation, Vidyasagar widespread his legs wearing sandals. When Mr. Kerr complained to higher authorities on his misconduct, he replied that he has learned the etiquette from Mr. Kerr when he had visited him before. Inside this almirah, these were some of the items used by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in those days. When Vidyasagar met with Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, spiritual conversations took place between them. The same has been displayed over there. You can see one of the trunks being kept here, which Vidyasagar used to use them during his time. Bonding with his mother. When he was working as a lecturer in Fort William College, he received a letter from his mother stating that his brother's marriage had been fixed and he should be present at the nuptial. He sent an application to Mr. G.T. Marshall, who was the secretary of Fort William College, but it had been rejected. But later, seeing his dedication and attachment towards his mother, Mr. Marshall sanctioned his leave application. As it was a July season, the month of rainy season, it rained heavily that day. He reached the banks of river Damodar, which was very wide with strong river currents. There was no ferry boats near the ghats. Seeing no other option, he plunged into the river, swam across the river and reached home safely. You can see a small museum been set here with all the important documents. In his last 20 years, he left Birsingha village and started to live in Jamtara, Karmatara, now in Jharkhand. He had set up many schools for girls. He had also set up homeopathic clinic for tribal people. This noble man took his last breath on the July 29th, 1891. He was suffering from liver cancer. Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, one of the founders of Bengal Renaissance, under whom the British genuflected to his commands and honored his commitment and devotion. Thanks for watching our video. Hope to see you soon on our next blog, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel.